The Neo Geo is not just the AES, it's the Pocket as well. And Neo Geo games ported to other systems can be very expensive these days for whatever reason. You'll find a lot of these games at the Mandarake in Akihabara, the home to some of the most expensive video games ever. In this video, we're mostly going to be talking about the Neo Geo and its related consoles, but we're also going to sprinkle in some very expensive and hard to find portable systems. Stay tuned for an in-depth guide to the showcase in Mandarake. And we've got Metal Slug First Mission, which if I could find this for $100, I would pick them up because I do have one Neo Geo Pocket actually. But Metal Slug First Mission going for $180, and then Metal Slug Second Mission going for, wow, the top price going for $270? Seriously, wow. And then there's that, wow. And then the Cotton going for $750. Oh my God. Why? Why do people spend so much on Cotton? Ooh, and here's some of the rarest portable stuff you will see. Wow, so there is the Pokemon Gold and Silver special version. I believe this was limited only to Pokemon centers in Japan. This bad boy is going for $380. I want to say loose, I've seen the orange one going for like $100, but that's of course a different version. I actually think I like that one because I love orange, whereas this is more of like a silvery white console there. Man, $380, but that's, I bet you it's even more expensive as the Pokemon boom continues. This is probably going for like $500 now, and especially on, this is in Japan prices. I would hate to see what this is going for on eBay. There on the left, we've got the Rockman X4 Limited Pack. I don't actually know what that includes, but it's going for $270. There is a Jikyo Pro Yakyu. Wow, what is that? Konami Computer Entertainment Kabushiki Temple. That's like a special pack that was given out to shops. That's going for $150. I don't quite understand what's in there. The label's too small to read, unfortunately. Game 10 Goku. Wow, that's actually somehow a series that is still coming out today. It came out for the PS4. This is the original Sega Saturn special version going for $130. And there on the right is a Game Boy Pocket Silver going for $100 in box. I actually have a silver Game Boy Pocket out of the box. I wonder how much that is going for. But everything portable in Japan has skyrocketed in price ever since the Switch came out. But wow, $150 even for like a good version. Whoa, wee. And then in the back, in the box, a PC Engine Duo RX going for $800. That is insane. I cannot, this was like $500 years ago. This is Tokyo prices. You will be able to find an RX. So what is special about the PC Engine Duo RX? You may be familiar with the Turbo Duo or the PC Engine Duo. That came out first. That's the black console. That plays both PC Engine Hue cards as well as CDs all in the same console. Those tend to go for, I want to say $300 or $400 complete in box. But those are notorious for having bad capacitors. If you pick up a PC Engine Duo these days, the regular black one, check it. Make sure either the capacitors have been replaced, or if they have not been, you're going to need to replace them either by sending it in somewhere or doing it yourself, because those things are going to go bad. They're going to leak corrosive fluid onto the motherboard and you're going to nuke the system. Now, the PC Engine Duo R and the Duo RX were ironically the cheaper versions back in the day. The Duo, when it was originally released, was going for like, I think like $600 when it first came out. The Duo R and the Duo RX were the cheaper systems that were going, I think, sold at MSRP for like $200 or $300 because they were made much more cheaply than the original Duo. Yet they are now the more sought after systems because they have better capacitors. You know when you pick one up. I mean, the only thing wrong with PC Engine Duo R's is that the soldering joint that the controller port uses can tend to go cold, so you might need to reheat that joint or get it fixed, but it's a pretty quick fix. It's not like replacing all the capacitors. The Duo RX, I think, is just when you buy that, you know it's solid, you know nothing's wrong with it. I don't even think it has that controller port issue. So that's why it's harder to find and more sought after because of just ease of use, since you don't want to have to buy a PC Engine and have to end up fixing it down the road. The RX is the one you want. That's why it's going for $800. But honestly, the only difference to me is that it comes with a 6-button controller, which you're going to need for Street Fighter Dash. Which, why are you going to play that anyways? And then actually what is even possibly even more interesting and much more limited is the Game Boy Famitsu limited edition. This is going for $250. This was, I'm assuming, a contest prize from Famitsu, the famous Japanese video game magazine. The Astro Boy one is clear, but I don't think that one is. But I don't think I've ever actually seen that outside of the box, so I couldn't tell you. And then here's some really, really old, like, not Game & Watches, but like portable game systems. FL Changeman. These were released by Bandai. I'm assuming probably in the early 1980s. They certainly have that look to them. $180 for FL Changeman and $120 for Attack Mogura. I don't even know anything about those. How interesting. Sort of like maybe probably before Game & Watches, if I had to guess. Here we've got Rockman, a couple of other games. I'm not familiar with these systems or these games. I don't know that much about Neo Geo, to be honest. Although Ghost Pilots, if I was gonna blow a boatload of money on Neo Geo AES games, Ghost Pilots would definitely be towards the top of the list. And actually, if I'm looking at that correctly, and I'm sorry if I'm blowing out the microphone here because I have to squint and move closer to the screen, but if that's actually going for $500 for Ghost Pilots, that's pretty good for a copy of Ghost Pilots. I love Ghost Pilots. And then Cross Swords. I don't know if we'll go there after we look at a couple of Pocket Color games, which I do not know and I couldn't tell you about, but Cross Swords. Man, what's that going for? $220. You can maybe find it for a little cheaper elsewhere. Cross Swords, really, really good, sort of behind the back action game that I've played. I have it for the CD. Love that game. Highly recommend it. CD version's actually getting pretty expensive too. And then Gals Fighters. Wow, Gals Fighters. It's a game I picked up years ago for like $30. It's like the one game that I have for my Neo Geo Pocket. It's sort of like a chibi fighting game. That's all there is to it. And I think it did actually get, a new lease on life with the release of the SNK Girls Fighter game that came out for the PlayStation 4. So maybe that's why Gals Fighter is so expensive now. Who knows? Who knows? SNK versus Capcom for the Neo Geo. Oh man, would that be the version to play? I think I prefer the Millennium Fight version that came out for the Dreamcast of Capcom versus SNK 2. But man, with those big beautiful sprites, SVC Chaos, that looks so good. Oh man, Art of Fighting, and also too, actually a really good scrolling shooter. That's going for, was that $2? Wow, look at that difference, almost twice as expensive. Also too, going for $200 on the left, going for $400 on the right. Man, oh, and then Galaxy Fight. Oh yes, if I was gonna buy one of the weird SNK fighters that came out on the Neo Geo that are, not King of Fighters or Art of Fighting, man, Galaxy Fight I think has some of the best artwork out of all of those games. That's the one that I would pick up for the AES if I was collecting for the system, which I am certainly not. Here we've got some other Samurai Spirits games. There's more copies of Ray there, going for, wow, $800 for a copy of Ray. That's not bad. Viewpoint going for, wow, $110. Ooh, Burning Fight. What is that? It's another Art of Fighting game. Magician Lord. That's going for $400. Although the CD one's getting real expensive too. We're in this weird world where some of the Neo Geo CD games are starting to approach the value of their AES cartridge counterparts. And 6 years ago, you couldn't have given away Neo Geo CD games. No one wanted those. But here we are. That's just what 2021 has brought to us. Oh, Sengoku. That's Sengoku 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, really good looking side-scrolling beat-em-ups. Would love to play them because I just love beat-em-ups so much. Then Nam 1975, one of the first games to come out for the AES. That's going for $400, almost $500. That seems pretty high because Nam, for a while, you could have picked that up for like $100 or $200. It was sort of on the cheaper end of Neo Geo AES games, but I guess the Neo Geo has just become so expensive that what used to be cheap on the system is becoming even more and more expensive. And actually, you can see there, I know this is intimidating when you have to read all of this Japanese, but there is Sonic Wings 3. That is, what did they call it? It's like Arrow Strikers, Sonic Wings, Arrow Fighter, I think is what they call it in the English. This is going for $700. This was well known back in the day as being like there were only like 3 copies, like production prototypes, allegedly released, although I think there was some sort of question regarding its authenticity. But there's the story that some guy actually flew to North Carolina and almost had like a copy of this in a suitcase. I don't think this has actually happened. This is what I imagine happened, though, was he had a suitcase and he handcuffed it to himself because it was worth like $30,000 or $40,000 is how much the total value of the deal went down. But now it's not known as to whether it's actually a real game or not. But it did come out for realsies in Japan, and $700 I think is a lot more realistic than spending $30,000 on this game. And then right next to it is Double Dragon, which, much like Final Fight Revenge, was, I think, very disappointing for me because I was hoping for a new side-scrolling beat-em-up, but Double Dragon for the Neo Geo is just a fighting game. Just a fighting game, but I was hoping for a beat-em-up. And then we've got Ragi, Ray. Sometimes I call it Ray Guy. That's one of the another cheaper game for the Neo Geo, going for like $200 there. But man, nothing in this showcase is going for, at least for the Neo Geo, everything here is like $200 plus. So if you want to buy some of these games, you better love the Neo Geo. I certainly do, but then we live in 2021, so there are other ways to play these games. But sometimes it just is cool to have these giant boxes of games. These giant cartridges. Nothing, I think, matches that feeling, even if you can play them in other ways. I would need to make a big Excel sheet to confirm this, but I wouldn't be surprised if the entirety of this single showcase at the Mandarake in Akihabara is around $100,000 or more. And the thing about Mandarake is they actually have probably like 5 or 6 showcases just like this one, full of games from other consoles. It is an absolutely incredible place that, when you get the opportunity, I would suggest going there to just look. Not necessarily to buy stuff, but just to look. If you would like to see more videos like this, where we go even more in depth to the rare and expensive games that are out there, you can head over to patreon.com/jcontra, where you will get access to monthly game hunting videos that are exclusive to patrons, as well as articles where I write up the most expensive games that are out there for systems voted on by the patrons. I've been your man out of Japan, Jay Contra. Thanks for watching, and mahalo. I want to give a special thanks to all of my patrons who make videos like this possible, as well as to super patron Zip Davis.